I'm a real nerd. People say I'm a fool, but they never got the news that I'm a vile one. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child. Oh yeah, I'm a vile one. You better turn it up, better keep the channel dialed, cause you're watching VileMike and his real wild child.
Howdy folks, I'm VileMike, and I just watched Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 1, Second Contact with the Vile Child.
Oh my god! I love Ensign Mariner!
Oh my god, what are you doing?
Nothing.
She is amazing, she is me, just in a Starfleet uniform.
Yes, I'm very complicated, thank you.
Alright, no synopsis since some people actually haven't seen the episode yet, but there will be spoilers. You have been warned. Okay, we'll start off with Ensign Boimler. What'd you think of him?
He's uptight, at least a little. Even Spock seems loose in comparison.
Computer, send me a suck-up to clean up my mess. I have a giant torso and little hands over. Right?
Yeah, hilarious.
He cares about the rules and the regulations.
Is the breach of regulations 498 and 756.
He's like a poor student that tries too hard. And when it came down to it, he did choose his friend over a possible promotion.
What about Mariner? Did she follow protocol?
Yeah, I think so. We spent the whole day just adjusting the subspace comm array.
And I find that good.
Yeah, I kind of think this will be a microcosm of his arc that'll be done over the whole season. And I think he'll end up becoming less goofy and more of a well-rounded Starfleet officer. He also seems very prototypical for Academy recruits, but a bit clumsy. Kind of reminds me of Reginald Barclay.
How's it going?
I still haven't traced down the problem, Commander.
Smart, capable, but not perfect. And I kind of like him.
Ensign Tendi is just so cute. I love her enthusiasm and her pureness.
Ensign Devana Tendi, reporting for duty. I'm a transfer from Outpost 79.
She's just the kind of person that Starfleet beckons. The Explorer. Also, I'm calling it now. Her and Ensign Rutherford are gonna hook up.
It's time for romance when there's a level 2 diagnostic just sitting there waiting to be run.
Don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, Tendi is what I kind of imagine a young Picard was like. That kid who looked up at the stars and just said, I'm gonna go there someday.
It's perfect.
I spent my youth looking up at the stars, dreaming about what was up there. About new worlds.
But she's more of a wide-eyed idealist.
Still, happy to be here?
Are you kidding? I got to hold a heart!
Speaking of Rutherford, what'd you think of him?
Interesting, but I'm not invested in him yet.
Yeah, the cyborg thing seemed a little gimmicky.
That is illogical.
Oh.
But I hope he gets more development in future episodes. He kind of seemed the most bland character so far. Lastly, we come to Ensign Mariner.
Yes! She is amazing, confident, unorthodox, does not care for the slowness of the Federation bureaucracy bullshit.
I'm so sorry I made sure that some humble farmers who can't afford to wait for Starfleet bureaucracy to notice them.
And is willing to do the right thing, even if it means bending the rules. She's like a more awesome version of Kirk.
I must take action on my own judgment. I have elected to violate orders and make contact with planet inhabitants here.
And I can totally see her becoming captain one day, probably with Boimler as like her first officer.
I can see that. Now, she certainly has an obnoxious streak that I think will rub people the wrong way.
Ooh, should wash those hands, Captain.
Stow it, Mariner.
Although it still has somehow made you the main star of my own YouTube channel. And a disregard for the rules. But I think she has a good heart. Very reminiscent of Ro Lauren and Major Kira.
Captain, I know the routine. You don't have to worry about me. We're stuck with each other. So let's just get this over with as quickly as possible and go our own separate ways, okay?
And now for the big question. What did you think of the ship?
I get that some people think it is stupid. And while I may not have watched all of Star Trek, I think it looks cool. It still has the Star Trek vibe without looking like an Enterprise knockoff.
To me, it looks kind of utilitarian, like it was designed to be a workhorse. Not necessarily going to get the job done fastest, or going to be the strongest in battle, but it looks like it could be the type of ship that would pull the plow all day, every day. The underslung nacelles kind of remind me of the Challenger from the Novelverse, though the nacelles seem a bit long, but that is kind of a problem several ships have, in my opinion. But the design is growing on me. Now, I want to point out that there's lots of people that are going to complain about how silly and un-Trek-like this is. But I'd like to remind you, Picard once quoted Shakespeare to trick a Ferengi.
My love is a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease.
Tell me more. McCoy once met the White Rabbit and Alice.
There was an entire episode where they played baseball.
A godlike baby turned Kirk and Sulu into wax figures.
Captain Proton.
My queen.
They stole Spock's brain!
His brain is gone.
Q once made the entire cast act out Robin Hood.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Just Q in general.
Morning, darling.
Alright, anything else?
I want a Batleth now.
No.
It's less dangerous than a phaser.
Still no.
Please?
Knowing you will end up like Boimler.
Come on, check this out.
Be careful with that.
It was just a flesh wound.
Is that a Monty Python reference?
I don't know, you wrote the script.
Well, that's our review for Star Trek Lower Decks. Tell us what you think. Where you think we were wrong, where you think we were right. Make sure you put it in the comments. It's good for the algorithm.
And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell for more Vile reviews with me, the real star.
Shut it.
Bye-bye!
Later, folkses.
This channel is sponsored by SDGameSwap. If you're into nerd stuff, you might find something you like there. They have books, movies, video games, toys and collectibles, and they even do consignment. They are also on Facebook, so go buy something. Links in the description.
Buy something at SDGameSwap or I'm going to put all of you in a cargo container and transport you to the Borg.